Hello, hello. Do you ever ask yourself if you're capable of changing your patterns? Well, you are. So let's talk about the steps you can take today to do just that. Hi, my name is Leslie Gadet, and I am an empowerment coach. And what I do is I help my clients get a handle on their mental clutter so that it frees them up to pursue their dreams and aspirations and turn their visions for their lives into their realities. And how do they do that? By becoming self aware, spotting their triggers, managing their triggers so that they have more clarity and focus and can move through their life more freely and with ease and grace. So today I wanted to talk to you about the habit loop because I came across this and I thought this really does make a lot of sense. Through my research, I came across, as I said, a concept called the habit loop, and within this habit loop are four quadrants. So as you can see, I've written them on my board. Q, meaning your trigger. The craving is what you want. Your response is the action you take. And your reward is what you receive in return. So yesterday I talked about reward system, and if you've been listening to me all week, I've been talking about giving you the basic concepts around triggers and responses. And yesterday we talked about the reward system because there is a reward system. So let's break it down and talk about two types of cues. So let's talk about the cue of time. Time is a driving factor for your cue, right? Because with the cue comes, let me just get back to that. With the cue, it triggers a new habit. For example, I have my morning routine. So every morning after I walk my beautiful little dog, Jackson, who's a Papillon, he's very cute, very demanding, I go to the gym. I get on the treadmill and I listen to a podcast. So let me explain what that means then. My cue is after I walk Jackson, I go to the gym, right? That's my cue. After I walk Jackson, I know that I go to the gym. So my craving is, what do I want? Well, my craving for me is to get my body moving. My action and my response is to get on the treadmill. And my reward is that I get to listen to a podcast, which is filling my cup with positive information. So I choose those types of things. Podcasts based around self-growth, self-love, self-development. And over time, my cue of going to the gym has become a habit that I am so used to doing every day that I want to do it every day. So you're using time to drive your cue, and that's how something becomes a habit. Good morning. Thank you for joining. It's just like getting up in the morning and having breakfast, right? Your cue is you're getting up in the morning. That is your trigger. You're waking up and you're getting up. The craving, well, you're hungry. You want breakfast. So the action and response is having breakfast. So you get something to eat. And then the reward is it tastes good. You're no longer hungry. I know it sounds simple, but breaking it down this way to make it sound more simple makes you understand a little bit better the whole concept around cues, around your triggers and your reactions, responses, and your reward system. So how about we break it down into location, because location can actually be a cue. It can be a driving factor. So in the article, I recently read this article, and I thought it was kind of interesting, just based around food. So let me ask you this question. Have you ever walked into your kitchen and you've seen a plate of cookies on the counter, or maybe it's a jar of cookies or a bag of cookies or even chips, and you've eaten them just because they're in front of you and you're not even hungry? Then you understand the power of location on our behavior. So it's just something, location, being in the right place at the right time. Your cookies are there, or your chips, or whatever it is, the thing that you like to eat the most, it's readily available. Where? In the location where you put yourself. Location cues can also be things that we create for ourselves. For example, we can mentally assign habits to a particular location, right? My example being the gym. As soon as I get on the treadmill, I turn on the podcast of choice for that morning. So that's considered a location cue. So when I'm at the gym, that's where I listen to my podcast. For the most part, because I still listen to podcasts throughout my day. Whether if I'm driving, I love listening to podcasts or audiobooks. So but that's a location cue again. Driving, turning on a podcast or an audible book. So what this actually means is that all of our familiar places, like our homes, the places we work, the places that we often frequent, already have behaviors and habits assigned to them by us. So if you have a bad habit in one of these locations and you want to change that, then you have to learn to be self-aware. I've said that a lot, enough to change up any given habit that is location-based that doesn't serve you. So I'll give you an example. You're trying to eat healthier, right? Your location cue could be, whether if it's not your kitchen, say you're going shopping for groceries, and your location cue could be the bakery section of the grocery store. And when you get there, you immediately go to the pastry section. Now I know the bakery section smells good. You start to smell if it's fresh made bread, or if it's fresh made pastries. And you start dreaming about what you want to eat, even when you're not even hungry. And I do suggest, just as a side point, make sure that you make sure that you're full, like you've eaten, that you're not hungry before you go shopping, so that you don't actually pick up things that you don't really need or want. You think you want them because you're hungry, but you really don't. And then ask yourself if you're really craving cookies or cake, or just the fact that it looks and smells good. Again, do you really want it? And are you willing to sabotage your plan to eat healthy? Now, I'm not saying that you can't once in a while have that treat. I'm the firm believer, I get cravings. And I don't know if you're like me, but I get cravings for chocolate cake. Like crazy cravings. Not all the time, but when it hits me, I have to have it, because there's no point in me having an apple or something healthy to eat. Why? Because I'm ultimately going to eat that apple, and then I'm ultimately going to eat that piece of cake. So I might as well just get it out of the way, and I do. So I call it death by chocolate. I'll get the most chocolatey piece of cake I can find, and I will not make myself sick, but you know what I mean? That feeling like, oh my gosh, this is so sweet. It's like, blah, I don't want to even look at chocolate cake ever again for a while. So I've killed my craving, so to speak, which is good, because again, cravings are okay. I'm not saying that you cannot have cake, you cannot have cookies or chips, things like that. It's about moderation. And if you have that craving, just go for it. Get rid of your craving so that you can then focus on eating healthy again. So again, I was talking about cues, cravings, and response and rewards. It's based around this 4-quadrant concept that I came across called the habit loop. And really it's the cues, your trigger, what's triggering you to do something. Your craving is what do you want? It's what you want. Your response is the action that you take to overcome your craving, and your reward is what you receive in return. So we haven't talked about what you receive in return. Okay, you receive satisfaction. So again, time, if it's a driving factor for you, my cue, as I said, was my morning routine. As soon as I get up, I walk my dog. That's my first cue. I walk my dog. And then my next thing is, once I've walked him, my next cue after walking him, because that becomes a cue for me, it's a trigger, I go to the gym. Again, another cue could be, because now I'm at the gym, it's a location cue, I get on the treadmill, and that cues me to put on my podcast. Do you understand where I'm coming from? My reward, again, is I am getting myself healthy because I want to feel good. I love the feeling of going to the gym, whether or I'm going for a long walk, if I'm going to the gym, if I'm going to work out, whatever that feeling is for you, the reward is you feel good about yourself, right? Again, number 2 being the location cue, which I've tied it into me going to the gym, but it's also things that we set for ourselves. So for example, you go to work, let's say that's your location. And the first thing what you do is you put your lunch in the refrigerator if you bring your lunch. And then the next thing is maybe you make coffee. So you see what I'm saying there? These are all things that we just do without even thinking. They become our cues, our triggers. And the next thing is, because when we get to work, that's a location cue. We put our lunch away. Our next thing is our craving. What do we want? We want coffee. So we make coffee. So we take the action to get ourselves coffee, and then we feel good because we've got our coffee and we can drink it. It tastes good. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's really simple when you break it down that way, but it seems like, people have this crazy thought that they don't understand how things work out for them. Like, why am I always going for chips? Why am I always going for cake? Why am I perhaps not working out the way I want to? There's all these things that cue us to do things. So I hope that you understood that. And if you need more information, please, drop me a line. So I hope you understand the concept of cues, because it's based around time and location and how you hold the power over both cues if you're self-aware of how you react and respond to these types of cues, right? You have the power to change. You have the power to form any habit that you choose. It takes work, but it's worth it, because then you can become that person you want to be. So you can do it around anything that you do in life. Think about all of the things that you do, and think about the time and the location and what your cue is and what your craving is, how you take action and what your ultimate reward is. When you become aware of that, for example, again, let's go back to the cookies in the kitchen. When you know that when you go into the kitchen, because maybe you're going in because you're thirsty, that's your cue, right? That's your trigger. So you go in there, but now you see the bag of cookies on the counter and you think that you want it. So all of a sudden your craving comes, you crave and you think, oh, I think I want that. And instead of maybe eating one, you eat 5 or 6 or 10, right? Because that's the action that you take. But what's your reward in that? So I don't know, sugar overload. Maybe you feel sick after eating that many cookies, or even worse. I know we start to really get down on ourselves because maybe we're trying to eat healthy and we feel like now we've sabotaged ourselves, right? So this all ties into what I've been trying to get the message across this week about triggers, about the responses and our rewards. But again, I wanted you to know a little bit more about the habit loop, because all of the things that we do based around our triggers, because of our feelings and our reactions and responses, that then take us down whatever road that is for our reward, what we receive in return for what we do, the action that we take. It all just ties into habits and the habits that we choose to form. Yeah, we have the right to choose to form certain habits. It's up to us. I know it's going to be hard. And maybe you need an accountability partner, somebody to call you out on it. You could say, you know what, I'm trying to eat healthy. And then they see you in the kitchen at work and you're putting your hand in the candy jar. Well, they'll call you out on it. Now, it's not to shame you, but it's to be your accountability partner. Do you see what I'm saying? Maybe you need that accountability from someone that's close to you, someone at work even, to help you to stay out of the candy jars and all of that. Because I know most works, they provide stuff like that. Or maybe it is that person to help you to start eating healthy, even at home. A spouse, a significant other, kids. Kids are so honest. So if you ask your child to be your accountability partner to keep mommy from putting her hand in the cookie jar, trust me, you won't have any problem getting accountability from them, because they'll be super honest with you. Anyways, I hope that you understood how cues of time and location work. My habit is solution for me, helping me be a better person, having a better life, having more focus and clarity, waking up with this attitude of gratitude and navigating that way through my day. It all started for me when I read the book by Hal Elrod called The Miracle Morning. If you haven't heard of this book, check it out. This was a game changer for me. It helped me to have a habit in my life that helped me become more calm, more focused, have more clarity, and be able to navigate my day, as I said, way better with an attitude of gratitude and becoming more self-aware. This is what having a morning routine has done for me. So I hope this was helpful for you. And I would ask that you please share this video and help me help others. And if you want to hear of a topic that you haven't heard yet, that's something that's really of interest to you, maybe something that you're going through right now that you'd like to hear more about how you can tackle that, please either DM me personally or drop it in the comments below, because I'd love to hear from you. I would love to be able to help you with any triggers that you're working through, so that your feelings don't take you down to actions and responses, that your reward system becomes a negative one. So again, thank you for watching. I appreciate you coming on and supporting me. Again, I appreciate you supporting me by sharing the video so we can get this word out to as many people as possible. And I hope that for you, that today you navigate your day with an attitude of gratitude. I want you to start living the life that you love, but I also want you to love the life that you live. Okay, so I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.